Alright, y'all, I am back. I done had to take my hair out. My twists were way too tight, and I want to get braids, but I'm going to get them when I finish. But here's a quick mid-September dissertation update. So I met with my advisor, and so the only thing I did differently, I'm looking for my notes. The only thing I did differently was I finished the methods chapter. I believe I shared that in an update. But then I needed to meet with my advisor to figure out some of his notes. So I'm about to give you that quick update. Okay. So at first it was touch and go if we could meet, because I missed our meeting because I had to go to an event, professional event. And anyway, so basically here are the exact updates from his notes. So at the beginning, where I'm giving context to my methods chapter, my advisor said I actually should put this in my introduction, which is great. So basically this methods chapter, and it feels really good, but basically I have the full blueprint for my dissertation. My sister's calling me, but I will call her back. All right, so he thought the questions were good, so I feel happy about that. And then he really helped me see the difference between data collection and analysis, because I told y'all this kind of analysis, like when you're doing a literary analysis, that is pretty straightforward. You usually do a particular lens for that, depending on what kind of analysis you do. But this is totally different for me, as I've shared. So yeah, so he broke apart my data collection with the analysis. And so my data collection method, I used, what did I use? I did Black archival, but let me tell you exactly the exact term. So I did Black archival practice for my data collection, which was how I did my archives. So he said that was great. I just need to clean up a little bit. And then, which is just more like, basically, I just need to do a line by line edit for that. And then for my data analysis, I used, QCA, which is qualitative content analysis, which basically once I did my particular method of data collection, I had the data, which I've told y'all all about, and then I'm using QCA for the reduction, which I told you about. So he said that was good. And for me, I thought it was multi-layered. So it's like once I use the data collection, and I reduced my data, then I wanted to really continue to analyze what I reduced. So what I realized, and this actually might be leaning into me having imposter syndrome, even though I thought I was over it. And that's something that my advisor and I talk about a lot. I think I told you I have an all Black committee that's just very supportive. Anyway, so I thought that I needed to have like a bunch of different analyses. But my advisor said, and we met on Monday, he was like, you don't have to have so many. So basically, so let's keep track. So I have the Black archival research, then I do the QCA, but then I added discourse analysis, which basically I'm looking at the like power dynamics of the materials. So who has basically the different power structures, because I don't know if I shared with y'all, but if I did, this is, I don't really edit, but basically I am framing my entire dissertation into like a hero's journey, not like into a hero's journey. So, you have the hero, college students, you have the big bad, which we already know who they are. So anyway, so then I did discourse analysis. But then when I studied discourse analysis, I learned about critical race discourse analysis, which I honestly thought it was cool because I really just wanted to have a lot of Black methods. If I'm just keeping it real, I just want a super power to the people dissertation. But when I was talking to my advisor, he was like, well, why did you choose this? And I was like, I thought it would fit. Basically, what I learned is I don't even have to do critical race discourse analysis. I can actually just do critical discourse analysis and find this and follow the steps for analysis. So that's what I'm working on this week. So then I don't have three different analyses. I just have two. So I was very happy about that. So basically, I'm going to cut this whole part about critical race discourse analysis and then just focus on critical discourse analysis. And then I don't even have to do regular discourse analysis. It's just qualitative content analysis and then the critical discourse analysis. So very happy about that. I don't know a lot about critical discourse analysis. So once I learn more, I will tell y'all about it. But basically with QCA, and I think I told y'all about that. I just used those standards to reduce my data from the 3,000 photos down to my data corpus, which were far less photos. Because then I did the photos. If you remember, I did the photos, and then I collated the photos, put the photos together for the specific documents, and then I ended up with I think 99 total documents. Let me tell you right quick. I ended up with 97 items. So that's manageable. So that's another update. The other update is when I talk about like my specific data collection numbers, like the 3,000 photos and the different categories and themes, I'm actually going to turn that into a table, which I think will be helpful for my reader. So this is like a really good meeting. I was really happy because y'all know I do my updates, and I did tell my advisor, I was like, I'm glad we talked because I share this on my YouTube channel, my process. So I would have had to keep it real if we missed the meeting. He was like, you were going to say that? This is my interpretation of what he said. He probably didn't say it like this, but in my mind, he said, you were going to share that. And it's like, I keep it real in the channel. So anyway, I'm recording this September 19th. So today is Thursday. So this weekend, I'm actually doing my first yoga sermon, which I will talk about at another time. But my goal between now and Sunday evening is to revamp my methods chapter to add critical discourse analysis, which is looking at the power dynamics of the author and audience. And so I think that would be very important when we're thinking about my editorial pieces. So like students writing to the newspaper, student newspaper, and all of those things. I do want to say that that's not the full truth to say I did critical race discourse analysis like just because I liked it. No, to me it really closely aligned with womanism. And so in womanist theory, there is this concept of people being living human documents, that we can study people's experiences and they're valid. And so the reason why I wanted to use critical race discourse analysis was that I really want, particularly the words of the students, while I will have a critical eye, I'm not having a critical eye of suspicion to what students are saying. I'm taking them at their word. Actually, for all of the authors of the various archival materials, I'm taking them at their word. And so that's really kind of why I wanted to do critical race discourse analysis. And I just want to share just a couple of quotes that really stood out to me. So yeah, it was, I want everything to be black, but also I did like this. I also wanted to add that I did like this theory, this analysis. So looking at a study, looking at Briscoe and Khalifa, their 2015 study about the closure of a black high school. They talk about this analysis. And so what they say is, our analysis incorporates essential aspects of critical race methodology in that we focus discourses used in, quote, the racialized, gendered, and class experiences of people of color, end quote. And so they're actually pulling from the 2002 work of Solorzano and Yasso. So basically what I was framing was I was framing the reason I'm tired, y'all. You know, I'm always tired with this time of year, with this process. But basically, what I'm saying is that it's not just, oh, let me finish reading. So then they say, we then chose not to only hear the words, but also give weight to the words of community members. And that this theory recognizes the experiences and discourses of narratives of people of color as legitimate. So that's basically what I'm saying, is that I just wanted to be very clear that the authors of my archival materials, particularly with the focus for Black college students, that they're legit. They're legit. Yeah. So that's why I use it. So I'm ready for everybody Black, but also that. So I wanted to add that. So yeah. So anyway, back to the plan. So between today, tomorrow, and Saturday morning, I'm going to revamp this chapter. And then I also had added critical race theory in my methods chapter, but that is actually in my findings chapter. Let me double check. In my, because you know I'm looking at my looking at my notes. Yeah, so that will be in my findings chapter. So again, like I said, everything, I have a lot of things in this, in my discussion chapter. Let me see. No, sorry. Yes. So in my findings chapter, when I talk about the results of my analysis, I will put that through a critical race framework, which basically there are particular steps for critical race theory. Just a few things that I want to highlight, because I really just want to invite y'all into the process. So there are a few things that I think were very important for me when I'm thinking about critical race theory. Number one, racism is ordinary. It's very normal, very everyday. So I'll be talking about how I see that in my project. Also, I talk about, I don't do every step by step of the framework, but I do pull out the most salient elements. Another thing that I pull out is this idea of a unique, the notion of a unique voice of color. And then I also talk about how minority status, in other words, brings with it a presumed competence to speak about race and racism. So in some of my archival materials, I include people who look like the college students, black people, Black community people, or Black members of the community. And everybody wasn't for college students' right to leisure. And so I want to present the full story. And so I talk about that as well. Some other things that I talk about is the Black-white binary. And so this dictates that non-Black minority groups must, let me see, hold on, let me actually read something else. So basically this talks about how the Black-white binary holds that one group, Blacks, constitute the prototypical minority group. So in this theory, this idea that race really is saying Black people, African Americans. So we're going to talk about the notion of race in my project, as well as the notion of race and citizenship. Yeah. What else? We're also going to talk about, and this is one thing that my advisors wanted to talk about, is the notion of whiteness. So if I'm talking about Black experiences and Black communities, I can't talk about that without talking about whiteness as a concept. When I first was told to do this, I was like, what am I, like, but I'm talking about Black people, like, but you have to present the full argument, which I'm going to also talk about before I end this video, what my advisor said about, like, being kind of willy-nilly and, like, cherry picking theories so that I can be a well-rounded scholar. We'll get there. But anyway, so those were a couple of things. I do have other concepts of critical race theory that I talk about, but I can't give everything to y'all, you know. The other thing I decided is I am going to embargo my dissertation. So basically, it will not be revealed to the world for I don't know how long. But I'm writing, and I think I told y'all this, I'm writing to have self-contained chapters so that I can get a literary agent. I'm also doing the hero's journey so that I can simultaneously, well, starting in October, I'm going to write my treatment for my documentary, so that I can then shop that to networks and also to agents. So I want a literary agent, and then I want I can do a literary agent, yeah, and then like I don't know a lot about agents, and as I learn stuff, I'll share with y'all. But I want a literary agent and then like a entertainment agent, if you will. So that is where we are with the dissertation. The other thing I want to say is, and the reason why I'm not using as many analyses is I'm learning in this process, more is not better. To write and write and write, that doesn't mean you're going to have a great dissertation. I want to be more judicious with my work so it can be more poignant and it can be more powerful. And so, so that is like a huge relief. Like I don't have to write, 1,000 pages. I'm being, I'm using hyperbole. I'm being hyperbolic, excuse me. But so very excited. I wanted to jump on here and give you a quick update because my next vlog, which was when I was in San Diego for this professional event, references the dissertation. And so I wanted to, send this out. The other thing I'm excited that, even though my advisor didn't recommend it and he might see this video because I gave him my channel, I am going to have conversations with my other advisors. My other committee members, but it'll be after we're done, based on their schedule. So, because originally when he was like he couldn't meet, and I asked him, I said, well, can I meet with the other people? And then, he was able to meet. Because, y'all, I applied for graduation. Yes, I applied for graduation this week. So it's a done deal. I'm graduating December 2024. And it's not even come hella hot water. There is nothing that is stopping me from graduating, and there is nothing stopping me from my dissertation. I'm at the point now where I'm like in a hermit stage, so that means a lot of my friends, a lot of people I know and love, I will see them when I finish, and that's where we are. I am one of those people that, we'll talk more about this in another video. I am building amazing communities. I am having great friendships here, but with that is it takes energy for me to show up fully for my people, because I love to show up. So if you're my people and you're watching this, just know we will get up after I finish within the next 2 weeks. And my goal is by the end of the month or early October at the latest, this dissertation is done. But once I get the methods chapter, like really where it needs to be, I feel very confident that everything else will flow. So that's a quick update. I'm trying to see what else. So we're gonna rock the fro, which, y'all, this is really funny, but my braids were so tight and my hair has always thinned at the top, even when I had dreads. I know that people call them locks, but colloquially where I'm from, we still call them dreads. I don't think that there's anything dreadful about dreadlocks, but we still call them dreads. Anyway, but my hair was locked for 9 years, and so I used to do all these updos and it made my hair thin at the top. So when I took my twist out, y'all, I was really afraid that I didn't have any hair. Like, I know that that's absurd, but I didn't know because it was like thin up here and I was like, oh. But as you can see, I have hair. Also, y'all, I have like a lot of grays now, which is great because for years I looked kind of young, and I think the gray hair will make me look my age or older. So because I grew up as a side tangent. I grew up as an old soul. And so, in the words of Jocelyn, the grandma was the baby. And yeah, I grew up an old soul. So I love getting older. Let's see what else is going on. Yeah, let me get back to work, but I wanted to drop this quick dissertation update for September. I'm feeling really great. When I do my next milestone, I will let y'all know. Let me double check my notes right quick though. Oh, this is the other thing that my advisor wanted me to do. So when I talk about QCA, he wants me to also include critical discourse theory at the top of that paragraph, and show where they converge. so that it doesn't seem like I'm just throwing that additional analysis in. And I'm just looking at my notes. So the table, I told you about that. And then, basically he said a great way to connect the two analyses, or maybe analytical methods. We're just going to say two analyses, is to say that QCA wasn't enough, and then I needed critical discourse analysis to add another step to my analysis. And yeah. Oh, and then we also talked about, because I am doing a guest talk in his class through the lens of Boosie Teaches, which is my educational brand. You should check that out. I'm about to be dropping a lot of content with that. I'm actually about to be dropping some videos from a teach-in I did 2 years ago. That was the last public event I did at my former university, and it was a protest event, and it was really great in the vein of Fannie Lou Hamer. It was called Tell It Like It Is Teach-In. So I'll be dropping some things from that other channel, Lucy Teaches. Anyway, so he and I will talk about that. But let me tell y'all the real tea, because y'all know I try to keep it real. I'm glad we met. Because while I still would have been a guest speaker in his class, y'all talking about being salty, I would have been salty. If we couldn't meet because I had to do something for work, and then you still want me to teach your class, and it was something I couldn't control, y'all know I've been on a healing journey for a long time. There are some parts of me, there's a little bit of pettiness still in me. If I was a little bit younger, I would have done tit for tat and would have been yeah, I'm not going to speak for your class. But no, I don't have to do any of that. We had a great meeting, so I'm happy about that. But I'm just sharing the true core of how I really was thinking. Because again, this is my public diary, and this is me showing the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, the prolific. As always, please like and subscribe. And thank you so much for being on this journey as I, Boosie, evolves. Oh, also, y'all, I had to take my nails off too. Look at that. Yeah, it was a lot going on. I had to take my hair out. I was getting a headache. I broke all these nails because I've been building things. My nail tech has been messaging me. She's like, when you want to come in? But we are keeping it chill until I finish this dissertation. I'll get my hair done then. Maybe. I don't know. I may change my mind about my hair. We'll see. And definitely going to wait on the nails. But anyway, I'm rambling. I'll see y'all later. Again, thanks for being on the journey of BC Evolves.